Linguistics is one of the most important sections of the UGC NET English syllabus. Every year, several questions in Paper 2 are based on linguistic concepts, terminology, language theories, and language analysis. Many students find this section challenging because it introduces technical terms that are unfamiliar in everyday English. However, once you understand the key vocabulary and their meanings, linguistics becomes much easier and even fascinating. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most frequently used linguistics vocabulary for the UGC NET English examination, along with simple explanations and practical examples. Let's begin with the word linguistics itself. Linguistics is the scientific study of language. It examines how languages are structured, how they are learned, how they change over time, and how people use them in different contexts. Unlike grammar lessons that teach how to speak correctly, linguistics seeks to understand how language actually works. It includes several branches, each focusing on a different aspect of language. One of the most fundamental terms in linguistics is phonetics. Phonetics is the study of speech sounds and how they are physically produced by the human vocal organs. It examines how sounds are articulated, transmitted, and perceived. For example, phonetics explains the difference between the sounds P and B by analyzing the movement of the lips and vocal cords. Closely related to phonetics is phonology. While phonetics studies the physical properties of sounds, phonology studies how those sounds function within a particular language. For instance, English speakers recognize that the sounds P and B create different meanings in words like pat and bat. Understanding this distinction is essential because UGC NET frequently asks questions comparing phonetics and phonology. Another important term is phoneme. A phoneme is the smallest unit of sound that can distinguish one word from another. In English, the words ship and sheep differ because of different vowel phonemes. Do not confuse a phoneme with a letter. A single phoneme may be represented by one or more letters, depending on the language. Moving to word formation, we encounter the term morphology. Morphology is the study of the internal structure of words. It examines how smaller units combine to form meaningful words. The smallest meaningful unit in a language is called a morpheme. For example, the word unhappiness contains three morphemes: un, a prefix meaning not, happy, the root word, and ness, a suffix that forms a noun. Questions involving prefixes, suffixes, root words, and inflections often test knowledge of morphology. The branch of linguistics that studies sentence structure is known as syntax. Syntax examines how words are arranged to create grammatically correct sentences. Consider the sentence, the students are studying linguistics. If we rearrange the words incorrectly, the sentence loses its grammatical structure. UGC NET often includes questions about syntactic rules and sentence patterns. Another frequently tested concept is semantics, which refers to the study of meaning in language. Semantics explores how words, phrases, and sentences convey meaning. For example, the words child and kid have similar meanings, making them synonyms. Understanding semantic relationships such as synonymy, antonymy, polysemy, and homonymy is an important part of linguistic analysis. Closely connected to semantics is pragmatics. Pragmatics studies how context influences meaning. Sometimes the literal meaning of a sentence differs from what the speaker actually intends. Imagine someone says, "It's getting cold in here." Semantically, the sentence simply describes the temperature. Pragmatically, however, the speaker may actually be requesting someone to close the window. This ability to interpret implied meaning is the focus of pragmatics. Another important linguistic term is discourse. Discourse refers to language beyond individual sentences. It studies how sentences connect to create meaningful conversations, speeches, articles, or narratives. Discourse analysis examines coherence, cohesion, and communication strategies used in real-life language. Students should also understand the concept of register. Register refers to the level or style of language used in different situations. For example, the language used in a classroom differs from the language used among close friends. Formal, informal, academic, legal, and scientific language are all examples of different registers. The word dialect frequently appears in UGC NET examinations. A dialect is a regional or social variety of a language with its own pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. British English, American English, and Indian English all contain different dialectal features. Similarly, accent refers specifically to differences in pronunciation rather than grammar or vocabulary. Another essential concept is sociolinguistics, which studies the relationship between language and society. Sociolinguists examine how age, gender, education, social class, culture, and geography influence language use. For example, people may speak differently in formal interviews than they do with family members at home. The field of psycholinguistics investigates how the human brain processes language. It explores language acquisition, speech production, comprehension, and memory. Questions related to first language acquisition often involve psycholinguistic theories. One of the most influential names in modern linguistics is Noam Chomsky, who introduced the concept of generative grammar. According to Chomsky, humans possess an innate ability to acquire language. His theory of universal grammar suggests that all human languages share certain underlying structural principles. These ideas frequently appear in UGC NET English examinations. Students should also know the difference between competence and performance. Competence refers to a speaker's knowledge of language rules, while performance refers to the actual use of language in real situations. A person may have high linguistic competence but make mistakes during performance because of nervousness or distraction. Another pair of important terms is synchronic and diachronic linguistics. Synchronic linguistics studies a language at a particular point in time, whereas diachronic linguistics examines how language changes over time. Understanding this distinction is particularly useful when studying language history and historical linguistics. In recent years, UGC NET has also included questions on corpus linguistics, which involves analyzing large collections of real language data using computers. Corpus linguistics helps researchers identify patterns of vocabulary, grammar, and language use based on authentic examples rather than intuition. The best way to master linguistics vocabulary is through regular revision and practice. Instead of memorizing definitions, try connecting each term with examples from everyday English. Creating mind maps, flashcards, and comparison tables can also help you remember difficult concepts more effectively. Solving previous year's UGC NET question papers will further strengthen your understanding of these important terms. In conclusion, linguistics vocabulary forms the foundation of one of the most important sections of the UGC NET English syllabus. Words such as phonetics, phonology, phoneme, morphology, morpheme, syntax, semantics, pragmatics, discourse, register, dialect, sociolinguistics, psycholinguistics, competence, performance, synchronic, diachronic, and corpus linguistics appear frequently in examinations. By understanding these concepts and practicing them regularly, you will improve both your subject knowledge and your confidence in answering UGC NET English questions. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more UGC NET English vocabulary lessons, linguistics tutorials, literary theory explanations, and exam preparation strategies. Comment below with the linguistics term you found most interesting or challenging, and let us know which UGC NET topic you'd like us to cover next. Happy studying, and best of luck with your UGC NET English preparation.